The Leader of the New Democratic Party.
While we're talking about spending money, Madam Speaker, in the wake of the Auditor General's scathing report on this government's mismanagement of the Hogan Court project, the Premier stated he was focused on value for patients instead of value for money. As an accountant, I am surprised that the Premier doesn't recognize that those are the same thing. Money doesn't grow on trees, and while this government is overspending on a hotel and throwing around millions in untendered contracts, we are seeing a record-high family doctor wait list and massive increases in ambulance wait times and ER closures. Not numbers we want to go up, Madam Speaker. When can Nova Scotians expect a stop to questionable financial procurements and a start to fixing health care?
The Honourable Premier.
Madam Speaker, and Nova Scotians have a right to expect that the care they need will be there when they need it. That's why we're making these investments. The needle is moving, Madam Speaker, and a number of metrics for sure. I hear that from Nova Scotians. I hear that from healthcare providers, Madam Speaker. We will continue to do that. And I would just say to the member that I won't apologize for investing in healthcare. I won't apologize for moving forward. What the member refers to as a hotel is actually going to be a healthcare facility that sees patients 2 years quicker than it otherwise had. We understand the importance of investing in healthcare, and we won't apologize for doing that, Madam Speaker.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party on her first supplementary.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Reality check. In light of the huge wait times to enter long-term care, Hogan Court was pitched as a way to redirect long-term care patients out of hospital beds. It was planned to accommodate 75 to 80. We saw lots of announcements on that. And it was going to open last month. But because this government ignored the expert report, and I'll table that, and failed to assess the massive amount of renovation that would be required for this project, it's now been delayed by several months at best. We'll have significantly fewer beds and will no longer be able to support high-needs patients. Madam Speaker, can the Premier explain why, instead of more health care faster, we are quite literally getting less health care slower?
Honourable Premier.
No, Madam Speaker, we are the party of more faster. Nova Scotians know their options on less slower, and they sit across the opposite aisle from us, Madam Speaker. This facility will open 2 years quicker than it would have under another track, and it will accommodate 68 patients. And I can tell you, Madam Speaker, anyone who's lived in a hospital for months on end, years on end, they know that this will be a much more suitable, much more appropriate healthcare living environment. It's a good thing for Nova Scotians, and I ask the member opposite to stand with Nova Scotians on this issue.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party on their final supplementary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Premier's right about one thing. It isn't a hotel. It was the shell of an unfinished hotel that this government spent a record $35 million on, and I will table that. This bad deal has a very real consequences for Nova Scotians. The Premier's right about that too, but I differ on what those consequences are. For ill seniors who are not only footing the bill, but are still waiting for adequate access to health care, the consequences are dire. Hogan Court is set to open now by the end of 2024, almost a full year after it was supposed to. What is unclear is just how big of a price tag Hogan Court will have when it's all said and done. Madam Speaker, can the Premier tell us today what that price tag is and who benefits? Because it's certainly not the elderly Nova Scotians waiting in hospital for long-term care.
The Honourable Premier.
I completely disagree, Madam Speaker. The people that benefit from the investments this government makes are Nova Scotians, and we are not ashamed to invest in them. We will continue to invest in Nova Scotians, and we will do it in record numbers, because that's what Nova Scotians have a right to expect from their government.